Tig.
You just watched the 1987 horror The Gate, starring Stephen Dorff, Louis Tripp, and Krista Denton. I want to say was a favorite of mine in the sense of like a movie that always popped on HBO around Halloween, so I watched it. And the premise is just very 80s with the kids being left at home alone, a hole to hell in the backyard.
And don't forget, the numbers where we'll be are on the refrigerator. And I want the house clean when we come home. No parties. Party, Linda!
I will say this. It was a bold choice for them to cast a 30-year-old man as a 12-year-old old boy. That I think was a very, very bold choice. The premise itself is an interesting enough, if very 80s premise. Oh, we're going to accidentally open a portal to hell. Obviously, a heavy metal record has to be involved because it's the 80s, and, that's what you have to do.
Breeders of chaos, come forth and take possession of this vile world.
It's the old 80s suburbia thing. About the only thing that really struck me about this movie was one scene later on when he sees what he thinks are his parents outside. And it ends up being way gorier than I expected for something that appears to be basically like a horror movie for kids, or for older kids. One, it was rated PG-13, so there's that. The bottom line is I had a hard time getting through this.
For some reason, this movie always stuck with me, even though I know it's not that good.
Obviously, if you watch it at that age and it's featuring characters that are roughly the same age as you, that kind of stuff always kind of sticks with you because you feel, you're imagining yourself having these same adventures that the kids did. And the other reason why I could see it probably sticking with someone, and this is basically the only thing that's going to stick with me, is those friggin' awesome demons. The demon creatures are super cool. It was a nice combination of sometimes they were using stop motion animation and sometimes they were clearly using forced perspective with people in suits to do it. And in both cases, they were really awesome. I loved watching it. Like anytime the demons were on screen, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I like that.
There was a good making of that I remember seeing on HBO when this came out, and it was all that like they showed how they did the forced perspective where they had these huge doors and they're all dressed up in the outfits.
So they did do that. Okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of forced perspective.
Yeah, that whole effect with those creatures was actually super cool. I really loved that.
I think it's fair to say that Terry was actually pretty good in his role.
I actually disagree with you pretty strongly about that. The kid who played Terry was just like
really. So wait, so you thought Stephen Dorff did better than the Terry character?
The Lee sisters.
I thought his acting chops were better, yes. Which isn't to say that I thought he was bringing great acting chops to the table. But I will say this: it's nice that he went on to have a great career as the lead in the TV show Dexter.
No.
Actually, he had a prominent role in, I think, the second season of HBO's True Detective.
Okay. All joking aside, I think his character in the movie annoyed me because I felt like he never did anything. He spent the whole movie never reacting. He just cried or just hid until the very end of the movie. Like his friend is getting taken into a wall by something and he would just sit there and cry. His sister is being taken and he just sits there and cries. Drove me nuts because I'm like, what are you doing? Like you're not doing anything. Do something.
Yeah.
Aren't you gonna call Mom and Dad?
You're not calling them.
Yeah, he didn't really take an active role in his story, at least not until near the end. It was very much things were happening to him. One of the bits near the end just absolutely drove me up a wall. And it's sort of a horror cliche. They think they've just closed the portal. The demons are gone, and they've just all gone through this traumatizing experience with demons and death and all this other sort of stuff. And their reaction is, hey, let's relax and watch TV.
Yeah, come on. Let's go watch some TV.
Yeah, okay.
What? What? No. You've excised the demons. That's when you get the hell out of friggin' town because you just had a pit to hell and murder animals in your house. And you're like, oh, let's watch some TV now. Incidentally, side note, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that what they were watching on TV was the infamous film Cannibal Holocaust,
Really?
which is one of the most horrific horror films ever. Right.
I was gonna say too. I think I think another reason it stuck with me is because I remember being a kid and being obsessed with trying to dig really deep holes. I mean, I'm sure you probably did. Like, I don't know maybe it was just because where we both grew up, but I was obsessed with digging holes like as deep as you can get. And there was always sort of like, oh, you're digging down to hell or something, like kind of thing. So this, I think, when this movie came out, it was like, oh, the kids are left home alone for a weekend. They're digging this. There's this hole in the backyard. I would have paid to see your expression for the ending, and I still don't understand how firing the rocket killed the indestructible demon.
It kind of gets danced around in the dialogue here and there. It's really poorly written, so it's not completely clear. But the sense that I got that it was something to the effect of harnessing the energy or power of like love or something to that effect, because the rocket was a gift of love and
like that was like something him and his sister did together, right?
Yeah.
And he bought it for her, but she was done with rockets because she was grown up and now she doesn't do rockets anymore.
Ow, wait! What about the Thunderbolt? Just forget about the Thunderbolt. It's gone.
Though the demon, I thought you would have enjoyed the stop motion main boss demon at the end, because that actually looked pretty cool.
The main demon was kind of a little plain. He just sort of looked like an awkward
Kraken,
like an awkward dinosaur kind of thing.
When Terry falls in the hole, I thought that was kind of cool when they were trying to pull on his leg and stuff, because I was trying to figure out how they filmed that, because I was like, at some point did they build a giant leg so that these like life-size guys are like pulling on his leg and stuff, and
right.
And he was stomping on them and they were freaking out, like flipping out and stuff. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I enjoyed the effects in that. Though in that very same scene, there was again one of these bits that kind of drove me up a wall. Right, they're trying to build up the drama. So he's trying to get out of the hole. He's trying to get out of the hole, and they've got like the swing on the rope they're going to use to pull him up. And so he climbs the whole way up, like he's climbing, no big thing, he's fighting off the demons, but he's climbing up, and then he gets to the swing, and he just grabs it, and he's like, pull me up, like
use your feet,
like motherfucker, you just climbed this whole way. There was a lot of little directorial things like that. The things could have been staged better, and because of the way they were staged, I was just like, what is this shit? Right in the very beginning, when the crew is pulling out the tree, and little Dexter, the 30-year-old man who was playing the child, little Dexter goes and he just walks in through the work site. I know it seems petty. It's these kind of like choices of the way you're staging scenes and blocking scenes and all that can just instantly rip you out of a movie, and the kind of small, almost imperceptible choices that when they get stacked on one another throughout a movie, those are the kind of things that can kind of separate a well-directed movie from a poorly directed movie.
Like the decision of driving around with a dead dog as if it's no big deal. The kid in the Camaro, he literally has a dead dog in the front seat, not the trunk.
Shit, closed. Sorry, dude. No vacancies.
And then of course, and then his decision is to bring it back to the house and like heave it into the pit. It was occasionally fun. Like when the sister gets a phone call, it's after the portal's open. The sister gets a phone call, there's the scary voice, and then the phone basically like melts on the wall. It's like, okay, that's cool, little building up scary tension kind of thing.
Hello?
You've been
But then so much of this stuff is random. Like there was when his friend gets turned into a weird demon thing, and so little Dexter goes in there, and friend bites his hand. Little Dexter's standing there, and he's got like his hand in his friend's mouth, and he's just sort of like, help, and he's not actually doing anything. He's just sort of like. I will note that the Killer Dwarfs was a real band. I have zero doubt that this movie has its fans, and I can understand why. For people who haven't seen The Gate but the concept sounds cool and you want to see it, just watch Stranger Things instead. Just watch the first season of Stranger Things instead. You will have seen chunks of The Gate. You'll be happier with your life. Though, I mean, I know based on our viewers, we're going to have a lot of people who enjoy this. And I do want to hear a defense of this movie from the fans down in the comments. So by all means, go ahead and tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah, tell Eric why he's wrong. Why this movie. So
That means
it's my time to watch a movie for the first time.
your turn. Well, the movie that I'm going to give you actually has a connection to the last several movies that we've just watched. Just like each of our last two movies have involved things coming from elsewhere and being a danger to the world, this one also involves that. You're going to watch 1954's The War of the Worlds.
This could be the beginning of the end for the human race. For what men first thought were meteors or the often ridiculed flying saucers are in reality the flaming vanguard of the invasion from Mars.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see it, and I will come back here to discuss it with you.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Until next time, America, I am Tig. That is Eric. And thanks for hanging out at the Movie Club.